Leningrad and he was displeased with something, then they told him, well, why have you come here? You shouldn't have come then. Not because he had to like something. No, they hadn't to talk about it. Of course, we had something bad features, but they had to see the country. That's quite natural. I cannot say, well, it's not so idealistic, but there is something, of course, quite natural that I, don't, for example, don't agree with here. Well, let me just, for example, like, that's the same question as with pedestrians. I mean, maybe I've got used to see many people, but somehow the impression is that that's what I mean, one of those slightest disagreements. That now people, that means that people, though they are very hearty, very hospitable, still they don't, there is no impression that they are all together, because when I see just the deserted streets, deserted, that means that every family sits on his own, in their houses, or the cars, but the people don't come into close contact. That was my idea, maybe my opinion. So that this one I don't agree. Then, for example, I don't agree with. Well, then of course it is there's nothing, but still in school, for example, when I had been in school, just how do you say it? Well, I mean, just when people, the students or teachers have no special, how do you call it, class book, where just all the names are in and you put marks, and by all means obligatory, because Jack told me that teachers have them, but because they know they should have for their own, but they're not obliged to have it. But sometimes should better have it obliged, because to make it easier for the teacher. It is a slight one, but that's the difference. Also, for example, as we saw in in New York, for example, we saw some people lying and sleeping in underground subways, sleeping because they don't have. We have also people, by the way, wandering, we call them bombs, people having no place of living, but that is because they only due to their own laziness. I don't know this, because usually people, or our people, we have no unemployment, so people would have jobs and would have place to live. And here some people, some Negroes, couple of Negroes came in New York, asked, begging us for money. Well, so that's what I mean. Every country they could find, in our country you could find even, not even, but really more problems. But that is not what I meant. I mean just that, so in any case, to see the private life better always, the private tour, than to just to touristic maps and just to official tour, because they would, the same as in Leningrad, when you just in our country, not only Leningrad, when you foreigners come on tour, our guys just take them to the best places, avoiding all these other ducks, or just all the other places, and which are mentioned on the map. Well, you would see just what it is, polished life, so to say. So the same would be here. If I were on tour, I would see on the same polished life, polished places. But I saw Rio. It is another fact. The fact that polished life is almost the same as real life here. Well, because your country is much more, that was much better organized. That's also one of the differences I saw here. The very well organization, very well done organization of everything. Where we have still poor organization, poor supplement. As one of my acquaintances, I saw I made acquaintance with him in Sacramento. Don Richard Matis, he was in Leningrad with his wife. He told the impression in Russia, in the Soviet Union, is that impression only is that nothing. But he told me that there is plenty. There's plenty of cabbage, plenty of vegetables, everything, but very poor organization. For example, just only one kiosk, for example, a shop selling cabbages, and the long queue. It doesn't mean that we don't have cabbages. It means that we don't have enough shops. If we had 100 shops instead of one, there would be no queue. The same as the revolution. I told people here that we have, for example, example, freight train came to Leningrad full of cantaloupes or just melons or grapes, tomatoes, potatoes, and there were not enough people to unload the train. That is why the shops are getting shorter. Then not enough room or technology to keep it in refrigerator. Well, that is again poor organization, not because we don't have things. Well, so you are much better organized. So actually, that is your privilege, just achievement, just what is. And this one could be seen only by private tour. I mean, just as we have been here, not on the tour. Well, so I think that is relatively everything I could say. Of course, I could talk much more. Well, today, on the 21st of October, that is a happy day for all the Benhazels, because today, 3 o'clock in the morning, Sally, John's wife, gave birth to Alison Elizabeth, the girl. Well, she was born one day sooner than I predicted, I predicted the 22nd. Well, and so I just congratulate all the family, and first of all Sally and John with the birth of the girl, and with the with the third grandchild. I mean, from yes, the third grandchild with the sons, all three sons of the Heisels. Well, and I think that is the best way to complete my story. Maybe tonight, we shall speak to Sally and tell her some hearty, warm words. Well, I think I plan to leave here. We plan to leave. Not plan, but we have ticket on the 2nd of November. Just to leave from New York for Leningrad. And I hope that we have about 10 days or less, maybe less, about 6 days here. But I hope these days will be just filled with the same hearty and just days, meetings and full of impressions. Well, thank you very much.
You're on.
Okay, good. You switched already.
Yeah.
Well, I think let's start with the anthems.
Okay, that's fine.
That's Leningrad anthem.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Well, and yes, but that is Ukrainian song. It's not
That's
Russian.
nice.
It's Ukrainian.
I like that.
You try this? Okay. Then I will sing it in Ukrainian language,
Okay.
not in Russian language.
Okay.
So thus you want me to sing
That's
two.
fine.
One Ukrainian, one Russian.
Okay. And then one English.
In English.
Okay.
But I don't remember all the words.
That's okay. If you want to go in there and you can watch it on TV.
Zali, who is my
Here, Jay, can I move it just a little bit? But it doesn't have to be that song. You can choose any one you
No,
want.
I know this word, of course.
Mhm.
Because I don't, can't you? Well, song?
Thank you.
плакать научились.
That's Ukrainian one. Народная песня среди долины ровные. This Russian folk song along, well, just among flat values. No, yes, value, not value. Valley, flat valleys, not desert valleys.
American Chinese chopsticks.
There you go. October, and Zoya Toropov, our good friend from Leningrad, is here, and she has agreed to talk into the video camera for a while. And Zoya and Nad have been here for the last 2 weeks or so, and tomorrow morning they're going to catch the Greyhound bus, and they're going to be met in San Francisco by Virginia, and then Virginia will take them to San Francisco, and then they're going to continue on the bus down to Santa Maria. And then Jan's brother John will meet them in Santa Maria and later on take them down to Los Angeles. And then they'll be leaving to fly back to New York sometime next week, actually next Wednesday. And then from there they will be flying back on Pan American back to Leningrad. And so I would like now to introduce and give the time to Zoya, who will talk about many things.
So, 15 years ago, I met in Leningrad with Mr. and Mrs. Spenheiser family. They came to Leningrad, but all the family by bus. I forgot the mark, the bus. They came and there took 3 sons. I looked at school in Leningrad as a teacher of English, and when I was in Petersburg, I met with them because they wanted to see the palace in Petersburg, and I helped them not to stand in a line because there are very many people during summer, because our city is very beautiful and many tourists come to see our city. So I helped them, and to enter the palace I asked the administration that I have good friends from America, and I asked to organize them not to stand in the line for 2 hours. And so they satisfied my request. And my friends were very glad that they can see beautiful palace, and then we walked along the park and saw very many fountains, and especially joke fountains, because the boys were very merry, because joke fountains are also very interesting. So, since 15 years ago, when we met, we had a correspondence, and it was very pleasant to me the signature and even gather some money and put into that letter $10. And it was wonderful that this letter were not checked, and I received that dollars for my son Andrew. I sat down and counted all the signatures, and I was very glad. I was touched because you understand that it is very, very nice and very kind from their side to me that they remembered me and they wrote, and I cannot even express how touched my heart. Yes. So it was too sorrowful. And then when when the when conditions between our countries changed because of President Reagan and our leader Gorbachev, and I received their invitation to visit their country with my older son, Ned. And I didn't believe even from the first that it is possible to go to America. But it was in reality. We have an opportunity and we are here because of changing the situation. And when I knew that we shall go to over the ocean to America, and I thought that I shall see all the students of Mr. and Mrs. Bernheisen, and I should like to thank them and to embrace them. I bought some badges and postcards to give to them. And it was in reality that I met all the students, and it was very nice and very hard. I repeat that I cannot even express how it was pleasant to me. In general, I was when we came to New York, and after from New York we have a train and went to Fort Bragg. It takes us 3 days, so we met very many people in America, and all the people were kind to us. And I cannot even express. I repeat, and excuse me for my repeating, but when I was very unhappy when I lost my junior son, Andrew, I was in very big grief, and I didn't want to live even, and I didn't do anything. I didn't read don't repeat any word that my language is poor now. Therefore, it is so, it's not so good that I lost my language, but my friends understand me because my so I'm not happy at home as I alone, and you must understand that as alone people to be alone it is very difficult. together, but my officials didn't permit, refused, and therefore I'm again alone in spite of my troubles. I tried, but I cannot do anything. Probably when I return again to the Soviet Union now, I shall try again. I shall try to have to have a stamp in Kate's passport because only one Paul, he is 5 years, he cannot live without mother. So I asked his mother and him to live with me in Leningrad, and she agreed to live, but when she saw that it was not possible, that our officials didn't permit, she asked me not to have trouble anymore. But you must understand that I don't want to live alone. I want to live with her, and I ask our officials, will you be so kind as permit her to live with me, and I may be useful for her to help her to educate my grandson, because he is too little. He is only 5 years. So I can talk. So it is too difficult to talk to me. Excuse me, but I cannot talk anymore.
That's all finished? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
Okay.